And again, I'm so sorry for the quality of this video because I still cannot figure out how this camera works. So stupid. Please, next time I hope it's going to be so much better.
Welcome, loves, to another episode on the podcast. That's fine with me. Today, we're going to be talking about celebrity culture and why is it dying? Why is a principle of celebrity being an idol, being an icon, is actually dying, and people are not paying attention that much to celebrities' lifestyle? Well, they do, but they don't really look at certain celebrities or certain people as they used to be like in 2000s. For example, Britney Spears, she was a victim of 2000s newspapers, and a lot of the times she was surrounded by paparazzi. She had no space to go, as well as Lindsay Lohan and so many more other very popular and very young actors, singers, because they were literally not only hyping, but that was something fresh and new, sexy, dramatic at the same time, cool outfits, cool makeups, love stories. Everyone were definitely trying to be someone like Britney Spears or again Lindsay Lohan. Or the other part of people, they were in love with the Backstreet Boys. Who else was there? Like, I don't even remember. There were so many other, boys bands that were hype and popular, as well as like Justin Timberlake. She was hyping back in the day, and everyone they tried to find some meaning and they wanted to get a scoop of something that is behind the scenes, something they have never seen before. What is their celebrity doing behind the doors? What is she wearing? Is she the same way? Or like most of the time it was coming from different sources like newspapers or maybe gossip channels, again, over internet that were monetized, heavily monetized by other sources. So there's no things such as free media and social medias. That is the main reason why we don't really know what was true and was not true. And especially we didn't have any chance to see our favorite celebrities in the way that they were naturally put in. For example, they were staying home, but they didn't have this chance to share what they were actually doing at home. So like, were they cooking? How were they dressed? What was they doing out there? That is the main reason why I think we have to remember that the drastic change has happened within probably 5, maybe 10 years. And during this period of time, not only social media was at a rise, but the problem that I can see is that sometimes certain celebrities, they showed too much of their private life and they're still showing too much. I believe the first ones were Kardashians, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, when they started the reality show, and they were the ones. Why are we saying that Kardashians are famous for being just famous? Because they have basically no talent. I don't really think that they're taking care of any of their socials or their businesses. I feel like there's so many other people that are dealing with this. They are the face of Kardashian family, and that's where they're getting credit for. But I'm not going to talk about Kardashians in today's video, not so much. The thing here is that why they did become so popular, because we finally saw people in their natural habits who were more or less popular, because Kim, she was hanging with Paris Hilton, and then we knew that she had money. And most of the time what people are interested in, they're interested in financials, like someone's financials. They're interested in their, I don't know, closets, in the atmosphere around the house. I mean, AD, architectural design, was a thing back in the day, but it was mainly like some photos and hard copies or magazines. It was never a thing when they were walking around the house of a celebrity, taking a picture, talking to the celebrity, and definitely showing this to everyone. And when everyone saw that, it was very profitable to show your behind the scenes life. Celebrities started being a little bit more open because finally they got a chance to show their real personality, their real lifestyle, not something that some newspapers and some paparazzi were portraying them to be. And I mean, if we had a chance to see, for example, like Britney Spears in 2000 showing her house, like showing around, showing what she was doing, how she was, I don't know, playing with her kids and all of that, I do really think that it could have happened, or it could have been a little bit differently than something that happened to her in early 2000s, like probably 2008 or 2010 in the conservatorship. That is the main reason why, I guess, gradually it was so popular to show your behind the scenes live that everyone started doing this. And it's funny to say, but it actually, in my opinion, ruined a lot of celebrities, because now people are, especially after pandemic, and people are literally struggling. I don't really say that my family, as my husband and I, were like struggling economically, but I don't really think that we lead this lavish lifestyle that celebrities sometimes are showing us, especially like same Kardashians or maybe other celebrities. And you're like sitting and wondering, like, when are you going to have this red flag that's enough? I mean, you can show us a lot about your life, you can show us your houses, your cars, but when you see that someone is buying like 10 cars and they have no driving license, so what is the point in that? Just to spend money. And in other, like videos, you see other celebrities showing their collection of, even some like very famous influencers showing their collection of clothes where they have 3 closets in one house. The worth of this closet is probably like more than $1 million. And you're like, okay, so I don't really think that I struggle, but why do we have to see that you have money to burn and you just have to show this everyone? Because if my family is not at the moment struggling economically in certain areas, like not everywhere, but like in certain areas, so we have enough money for food, we have enough money for like gasoline and just pay for electricity, to pay bills, and maybe sometimes go once a year to travel, when is it going to be enough for you to stop showing your very expensive lifestyle? Where is this kind of line? And a lot of the times people started wondering, like, yeah, when is it going to stop? Where is the limit of you showing off? More like not just being relatable. The point of this celebrity showing your house or their houses to you was to show you that they're relatable, that they're cooking probably, that they're kind of like playing with their kids and whatsoever. And when you see more to that, like how they're spending their money, this is a bottom line. And for example, like TikTok, people are not scared and they're not pressured to stay quiet for a long period of time and to share their experience most of the time with certain celebrities such as J.Lo. She got a huge backlash a year ago, probably like maybe 2 years ago, when people said that she was rude and she didn't really want to clarify anything. Another video that she posted was related to, I guess, her makeup company and some alcohol brand, though she claimed to be like no alcohol. She's like, she did not drink alcohol at all, and probably she doesn't drink alcohol at all. So what was the point of her like cash grab, as people point this out, company? Most of the time, certain celebrities, they're showing their behind the scenes, like, oh, look at this, this is my house and this is my brand, so you can see that I have this brand. And then you're like, okay, I'm watching. And then they're doing another thing, like, look at me, I'm so relatable. And in a month or so, they're going to be a person through internet or like specifically TikTok showing some receipts and showing some videos where like, this person was super rude to me, and whatever this person is showing in social media, it's not true. So when this paparazzi era was ended, early 2000s, we actually kind of gifted not only to just like regular people a right to see these celebrities in their natural area of life, but at the same time, we gifted them an opportunity to narrate their own story, to show something that they want us to see from their perspective, from their angle, but at the same time, it's not always true. So something that we see, but with like paparazzi, it was over the top. It was always too much pressure on celebrities. And I think that no one should go through what, for example, like Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears went through. But at the same time, when they were given their chance to show their life from their perspective, it's like one truth, like the side of one person from their angle. And we're like in constant trying to understand what is actually happening, and are we actually interested right now? Because I would say with, for example, Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber, you would say, why are they always in the middle of controversy? For example, one year or like one day, Justin's liking really old Selena's post. Then he's shading Selena for a ring. And then Hailey Bieber is shading Selena for something. And then Selena is shading Hailey for something. And this is just a constant triangle that is just not dissolving. And my personal thought is that Bieber's, and the recent drama with an influencer saying about some abusive relationship, I don't really want to dive into that. What I want to talk specifically is that Hailey, she liked this video or she reposted this video and then she deleted and she said that I did not repost anything. But what I think is that they're trying to stay relevant. And in my opinion, and in opinion of so many other people over and they're saying like this is the drama they try to stir over and over again. So when people, they stop talking about Bieber's, there's always going to be some new issue with them. So during like fall interview with Hailey, Selena kind of shaded Hailey, if I'm mistaken. So they actually opened this conversation. And most of the time, all this shady business, all this controversies, they actually happening when there's going to be a launch of a new product, launch of a new company, or anything like this. With, for example, J Lo, if I'm not mistaken, there was a controversy that she was rude and whatever when she launched her makeup collection. But I guess sometimes you just can't predict how it's gonna turn to you, like in your favor or against you. And right now, you probably heard of the Glambot drama that happened not so long ago, where J Lo again, she was in the middle of the spotlight when she was called out rude. But we actually know about the J Lo being rude, and she was like, I don't really think she's gonna change her attitude anytime soon. She doesn't really care. And then we're gonna see like this guy who was a director of the Glambot, and sorry, that's my cat. So this guy, he was in a middle controversy because like, no, she wasn't rude to me, and turned out he was rude, and he was trying to build the entire persona of him to be like relatable and whatever. But turned out he didn't even invent a glam bot, but he was charging people if they wanted to hire him a crazy amount of money, and probably even shaming people for being poor, or they wouldn't ever have an opportunity to hire him. So that's a new controversy, an over controversy. And then you're kind of like trying to see this from a perspective of a person who's like, okay, now I actually get why people are not so fascinated with celebrities anymore. Like the era of these idols of 2000s where people were like, oh my God, what is actually happening behind the scenes? And when these celebrities, they're coming too close to people. And now people, they actually have not only access to their home life, what they're cooking, what they're doing, but we're actually dragged most of the time in this, filthy laundry. For example, Beckhams, I always thought of Victoria Beckham and David Beckham, they were like very far from any drama or any controversy. And then it turned out that they actually have some beef with their own son. And you're like, okay, now we're dragged in Beckham's drama and in their closet. So what I say and what I see actually is that most of the time celebrities are not irrelevant right now. They're relevant. The problem here is that we're not idealizing these people anymore, because we see not only through them, but we actually see sometimes too much. We're getting involved in so much drama right now and in so much speculation. And it's a lot about he said, she said. For example, with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, we've been watching this whole drama and this lawsuit for over a year. And now with the text messages and with releases, you see the dirt behind the scenes of Hollywood in general. That people, they're supporting allies, they're supporting their, I guess, celebrity friends for the sake of supporting. They don't really care if this film was really good, if the cut was really good. And probably I'm throwing some shade in the way to like Matt Damon or I don't know, Ben Affleck, whatever. Like I actually don't. I don't, because I think that they were misled by Blake Lively. Who would have thought that she will manipulate people behind the scenes and will write pretty much the same message to every single one, or that Ryan Reynolds is going to gather some dirt on Justin right before the shoot, the filming even started. But he contacted a girl that was with him on a podcast. So my actual thought is that they were not actually willing to do this film as like normal people. I think they always want to hijack the project. And the funniest part that Blake Lively, she didn't even read a book. As she always was saying this, like, I didn't read a book. Why wouldn't you read a book before you actually start filming? And it's funny, but through, if I'm not mistaken, text messages or like in different sources, we know that Taylor Swift actually read the book, though she was not a director or part of this project. And that's a whole separate story about their text messages, like zero pressure and about, just like, he's a clown, constant manipulations. I am so done with this project. And like, I'm actually not surprised. I'm not surprised with any of their comments and their messages, because like we knew a lot about these two guys, like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. A lot about them was pretty much open since the 2025 or even 2024, like August of 2024, for a reason. That is the main reason why I would say that now they're crashing, because we can finally see through the veil. We can finally see who are these people, what's they're up to, why are they treating people, service or their colleagues or someone who they call like underdog, the way they treat them. And it's about respect. You would put yourself into place of this person who is serving, who is providing some service, I would say. In the way, like, if I meet, for example, Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds or anyone else in public and I'm not surrounded by paparazzi or someone who's gonna film us, how are they gonna treat me? If I ever get in a position where I have to work with them, not always in a professional field, not to be an actor or anything like this, like, for example, being a waiter. So, how are they gonna treat me? How they're gonna react to some of my responses? Am I gonna be viewed as a real human being, or am I gonna be not even judged but humiliated by this person? This is the question that every single person is asking when we're watching these drama channels, when we're watching this drama erupting, because you're like, well, if they're treating someone who has at least some money, like Justin Baldoni, or like J-Lo, who's treating a guy who has almost 13 million, I don't know, subscribers on TikTok and any other platforms, though he's not innocent as it turned out. Like, how are they going to treat me, who has, for example, like no following, who has no money, not that much money, or probably have nothing to offer in return? So they're going to even treat me like not only shaped like dirt under the shoe. That is the main reason why I feel like it's still going to progress. I believe that these fascination with celebrities is going to end soon enough, and people are just going to realize that these people, they actually have money and probably some ways like power, but I'm not going to idolize them anymore because they're regular people, and sometimes just power hits them really hard in their head. So I don't really understand where the boundaries or where it actually ends, where they can behave like, I feel like it's really cool that we can hold them accountable. I actually love other celebrities. I'm not saying that every single celebrity is the same way. I really love Jennifer Garner. I really love Reese Witherspoon. I love Mark Wahlberg. I would say that I actually love Matt Damon because his response to Blake's wasn't that like, oh my God, let's gossip, as his wife did in the way, but she's a woman, I kind of get it. But he was like, yeah, we're kind of a cold but a good one. He tried to make a joke, but at the same time, he could have, a lot of people, they're accusing Matt Damon for not taking this seriously and going deeper into the topic and finding out and probably like comparing the cuts. But it's just a difficult situation when someone from your field, someone you probably worked with or saw on different kind of like premieres, and asking you for a favor and saying that the other person is horrible. I believe that probably you would believe this person as well. So it's just, I don't understand when people are blaming, like, Ben Affleck didn't even answer Blake, as far as I can tell. So I'm actually turning, I guess, this podcast more into Blake Lively's texts because it's too, in my opinion, provocative, I would say. That is the main reason why I'm kind of like, shifting toward this topic. But in my opinion, we just have to keep in mind that most of the time we should probably stop idealizing a lot of celebrities and we just have to see them for who they actually are. And it's not about their narrative anymore. It's about the way that people, for example, from service, they're coming out. And by the way, there was a rumor that Sarah Jessica Parker, she wasn't nice at all. In Kim Cattrall, she was constantly talking about Jessica Parker to be super mean. And then another co-star from And just like that in Sex and the City, Mr. Big, he confronted her in the way in the comment. And that was the main reason why he was like, okay, she wasn't actually nice to me also. And there was an article from anonymous source saying that she was super demanding. And a lot of makeup artists or some hair stylists, they would probably come forward saying something about her. So we can actually see in real time downfall of a lot of celebrities, and they're finally getting accountable for whatever they actually have been doing for years. And now they're accountable for their actions. And I feel like this is so cool. And, I love the fact that most of the time when we watched certain videos and like about Sarah Jessica Parker, they were like, no, she's a great person. I worked with her for so many years and I know she's a great person, whatever. And Kim Cattrall is probably a liar. But then when this article comes out, she's like, people were threatened they're going to lose their careers because she had too much power and influence. Does it have any kind of like resemblance with the situation with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni? But, I feel like with this case, and it started like long time ago, finally we can see that now people are willing to come forward because they know that probably public is going to take their side. They're not jerks. Public is going to take their side because it has to be said. We have to take this power back from the celebrities that they can do whatever they want just because they have money and as they think they have power. No, we're taking this power from them and we're giving this power to people of service, people who actually surround them, and making sure that every single person is acknowledged and respected no matter how much money they earn. And that's what I think is powerful. And I hope it's going to continue to grow and become something like mainstream, that people, they would need to probably control their emotions in the future, control their impulses, to make sure that, I'm not going to treat this person as shit, because probably he's going to come out to a TikTok platform and bust my ass. I guess that's it for today. Let me know in the comments or through my mail some of the stories maybe you had about certain celebrities, or maybe you had some encounters with other celebrities that were not really nice to you, or maybe they were nice and you can actually tell us who was that celebrity who treated you nicely. I'm very excited if you have anything to share. It can be absolutely anonymous if you do this through my mail, or it can be, I can actually mention you in my podcast if you're willing to do so. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.